Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. Hope you have a wonderful day. In today's video, I'm going to talk about a question that was asked on social media and somewhat interesting. I figured it would be a really made a video out of it. So the question goes, if you have the opportunity to move interstate, would you do it? That was one of the hardest decisions that we have to make when we were living in Sydney. At the time that I had the thought of moving out of Sydney is because we were living in an apartment, raising two children in one of the high dense city location. The suburb was in Zetland, and I figured to raise a family in an apartment, it might be the thing now these days, because the price of houses in Sydney is just getting ridiculous and it's unachievable for some. So if I were to do it, if I had the opportunity, definitely, because that's how I actually decided to move to Brisbane. Went from Sydney, New South Wales to Queensland, Brisbane CBD. It was one of those rare opportunities that I got given to me. It was pretty much from work, and with no hesitation, definitely I would do it. Especially if you're still single in your 20s, and if you haven't set yourself up just yet, it should be an easier move compared to when you already have children, married, have children, and have your, I guess, community around you. So definitely would do it, but in the condition that you're doing it, not running away from something, but actually trying to achieve something better. Yeah, so for ourselves, it will take a long time to get used to it. Like for myself alone, this humidity that we're having during summer, something that I haven't actually experienced beforehand, and I find it a little bit difficult. However, you kind of adjust accordingly. For example, we have the convenience of having downstairs will be the supermarket, where it's just across the road. But now we actually have to go drive places. Yeah, for example, a typical us when we go shopping now, it takes us about an hour or so. An hour, well, half an hour to get there, half an hour back, plus the physical shopping. When we go to our wholesaler using Costco, we don't really shop at Coles or Woolies as much. That's another adjustment that you have to do, because we live, I guess, because of Costco is having a lot of the product that we have. We now actually go to a local fresh produce, sort of like fresh market, let's say. That's for where we get our vegetable. The other occasion we actually buy the groceries from Coles and Woolies. So that's one side. The second side would be if you have family, you have children, you have to take a consideration of them. We did it at a young age when they're really resilient. They were able to adjust, adopt accordingly quite quickly, from moving from one school to another. But if you leave your kids at an older age bracket, let's say in their teenagers, because that's what I experienced when I moved from one place to another. And it wasn't as easy, let's say, compared to when you're actually in primary school. So that's my take on it. Third one would be figuring out your routine, figuring out your schedule. It might take time. However, after a while, you figure it out. So for us, for example, we went from a swimming pool lesson that was brand new facility. Obviously, you're not going to be able to get that in here. However, looking at the swimming lessons that our kids doing, and it's somewhat the same, or if not even better, because the classes is actually a lot more smaller. So there's that side. The other thing would be understanding your bearing, where you're going, left, right, and where you need to go between A and B, and finding a location. That might be a little bit of struggle. I'm still finding that struggle as well. Finding out a community for you as a parent or as an adult, it might be a little bit hard to adjust to because you're used to a certain environment. Till this day, I'm still trying finding out bits and pieces, spots here and there. Yesterday was the first time where we actually gone out and have lunch at a restaurant, on a Thai shop. And for us, going around there alone, it took us a while to find out where is a good location for let's say a restaurant. You're bound to have these little struggles here and there. What else is there? The adjustment also, if you're living in an apartment to a house, understand that living in a house is great. However, there are lots of repairs that needs to be done in a house. When we moved into this house, there was only ducted air conditioning. If that broke, which it did last year, I have to install every single room with a split system. Those things that if you're used to paying strata, the expectation would be you're going to spend about the same amount of money, depending how big of your property is, for doing maintenance and upkeep of the property. In the past 12 months, we updated solar panel. What else? We updated the retaining wall that you see here, as well as the I guess the split system, about 5 of them, one on each room. And we also fixed the garden because it was just a mess and unusable. But yeah, there's a lot of things to consider if you're moving. Another thing would be if you're thinking of selling your I guess your principal place of home in Sydney, or you're gonna go over here to move and buy one straight away. My son went to, on a sporting club, and in that sporting club, what I found is people usually rent here somewhere first, and then see if they like the area, and then maybe consider buying in that particular location. We went the other way around. We sold our property in Sydney, grabbed the cash from that, and then when we come over here, we straight away buy it. Now, the reason why we did that is because I don't want to move another step. We don't want to pack again and unpack again like 3 times. And I know for sure if we were to do rent, there's a high possibility, let's say the rent increase, or if not, we have to pack for the 3rd or 4th or 5th time. So yeah, those are the main factors that I see that might be a hurdle for some people out there. Another thing would be job wise. Now my thing is I moved to Brisbane is because I knew I had the opportunity to do a transfer. If you pack your bag without any knowledge of the area, it might be a little bit hard to adjust, or it might be burning your saving account financially if you have to start all over again. Those are my main factors. The other one, maybe it's a little bit different if we were to go the other way around, coming up from a Brisbane city to let's say to Sydney. The adjustment will be a bit different. Now this is from personal experience of a big city, fast-paced environment to a quiet town in Brisbane. I found that it's a lot more quiet compared to Sydney. The population in here is a lot smaller. The activity, I found that it's a lot more less due to that. But yeah, you have to consider yourself if you are moving. For us anyway, we're looking at a long term in here, let's say 10 to 20 years down the track, and what does it look like? Hence why we bought this house, because we knew we're going to stay here for more than 10 years. Because the administration costs involved if you're buying and selling a property, it would be quite steep, and to reduce that, you need to invest in a place where you're going to keep it for a long time, let's say. So, I think that's about it. Hopefully this helped. This is based on our own personal experience, our journey, what we did in order for move and left Sydney and living in Brisbane. If you like this type of content, guys, don't forget to subscribe, comment, and I will see you on the next video.